And welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Sarah Pascoe and Josh Widdicombe, Rob Beckett, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. We start tonight with a game called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image from the week. So, teams, here's your picture. But why has this man been in the news this week?
As someone just said to him, give me one good reason why Labour won't win the general election.
I think he swallowed some milk and he's going to do his impression of the human zit.
What he seems to be saying to me is he's going, if you want to hear crap, this is where it comes from.
Well, actually, they say that the distance between a man's thumb and his forefinger is the likelihood of him ever getting elected Prime Minister.
Is he about to demonstrate how he thinks gay men have sex?
And they don't do that. They don't do that. I've no interest in them at all. You know, just for the once, you just go, come on, we just do it once. Boing.
Dara, you're there in the background. Can't you tell us what he said?
I'm a little scared. It's not me. You can't just... I'm sorry, the look-alike Dara game is quite clear, right?
Yeah.
You can't just point to any large, bald man and go...
You don't know he's large.
He's about 3 foot by the look of it, I think.
I think what he's doing is he's going, I am the Phil Neville of politics.
I'm going to accept that as the correct answer. Yes, it is the Labour leader, Ed Miliband, in the news this week as he's been attacked by the press and some Labour MPs for the latest in a series of perceived gaffes. What's the latest one?
A photo was taken of him holding a copy of The Sun, wasn't it? That was sent to every house in Britain.
Yes,
It's quite a sad picture, isn't it? He looks like a teenager who's looked at page 3 and he's hiding his boner, really, doesn't he?
All the leaders did them, and this was regarded as being, well, because of Labour's links with Liverpool, that was regarded as an offence people to do there, but also just regarded, they were all doing essentially an ad for The Sun. I mean, Clegg did one as well. The one I think, he got the grief, this is the really freaky one, is the Osborne one. The Osborne, that's just bizarre.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Who holds a paper like that? Yeah. You know, he should have like a Waffen-SS thing on his hand going, these are your papers! These are your papers!
Do you know what it looks like? You know when someone's taken hostage and they have to prove it by holding up a copy of today's paper?
No, what year? What year is it? It's this year.
Actually, this is quite interesting because they didn't put page 3 in the Suns they gave out for... It obviously did have a third page, but they didn't... 1, 2, the news is finished! No, they didn't put page 3 in them because it would be offensive to some families, and it's quite interesting because I've been thinking about this, because you know there's this organisation called No More Page 3 because they think it's objectification and children see it and women get uncomfortable on public transport. Well, all these other people are saying, oh, why are feminists suppressing other women? Like, we live in the Western world, they choose to do this job, they wouldn't have a livelihood if you took it away. And I think I've solved it. And what we do is we make page 3 like jury duty. So every woman over the age of 18 now has to do page 3. And you just wake up one day, there's a letter, says, dear Sarah, please come to the Sun offices at 9 a.m. Bring some snazzy pants and a pithy quote about Syria. And you just have to go.
Imagine the day you buy The Sun and it's your mum.
That's the high price. That's the high price you pay for our freedoms. Your mum's baps occasionally will have to appear. I apologise to Josh's mum.
I hope that makes the edit. That'll be the proudest moment of her life when she goes, Dara O'Brien apologised to me on TV.
I know, she says, rearranging her back. I apologise again. to all women for that motion. I'm not sure that's the case.
I don't get the point of getting them holding the paper. Like, why is Ed Miliband holding the Sun? If you're PR people, should getting them in the Sun. Do you know what I mean? If they can't get them in the proper page, at least Dear Deirdre, like, oh, I betrayed my brother, now he won't talk to me. I'm bored. They keep banging on about his gaffes. How many houses has he got? I don't care where he lives.
Well, it is. I mean, the Independent ran with that picture, ran with the headline, an unbelievable headline. Miliband fails to look normal while eating a bacon sandwich. news in the event that day.
I like that they said his advisors stepped in. But I just imagine they stepped in and, like,
It's also...
open wide, Ed!
I think this is good PR for him, because although they actually say that people who eat messily are very good lovers, and also they're covered in crumbs that you can use for snacks.
What does it matter if he can't eat a bacon sandwich? My dad's well good at eating sandwiches, but he'll be shit running the country.
He upset everyone, didn't he? Because he upset people by eating it badly and looking unpleasant, and he also upset the Jewish community, of which he is part, by eating a bacon sandwich. It's like for his next PR thing, he's going to hold up... He might as well just hold up a picture of Margaret Thatcher and eat a packet of Frazzles on Ramadan.
What other gaffes is he purported to have made?
He was asked to estimate how much the average family spent on food shopping, and his answer was, that depends how much you're spending, which is right. That is the right answer. And then everyone went off on one. And then they said, oh, I want a number figure. And he said between £75 and £80. And they were like, oh, no, actually, you're out of touch. It's £100.
Yeah,
like, if he had said £150, we would be tearing a strip off him, like, oh, what are you eating? Caviar?
It's like when you're guessing someone's age. You always go under what you think the actual answer is.
Always go lower.
Especially
You don't
if
go,
you're
what, say
Labour.
you're 50, 55? What? I'm still in the school uniform.
The reason it was so cheap is in fact what he does is he buys a lot of reduced price stuff that is way past its sell-by date in case his brother comes to visit.
My theory is that he probably doesn't do the shopping. He doesn't do the shopping, and even if he does go to the shop, he probably hasn't got any money because he's always brought the wrong trousers. I had to think about that joke for quite a long time before I launched it.
I don't want him to know how much groceries are. Like, I know that. I want him to know about things I don't understand, like the economy, healthcare and spelling.
Yeah. We spend too much in my house because my boyfriend's obsessed with nectar points. So he buys whatever gives you extra nectar points because he thinks if there's an apocalypse, the nectar points are going to outlast sterling as currency. And he might be right.
You can't do that because technically you're an unsecured creditor of the supermarkets, because I got wiped out on my Nando's card. I'd built up 2 chickens and then they changed the point system. I was absolutely livid.
You're allowed to do
And I
that.
hope you're watching Nando's. I haven't been back since. I'm a man who takes chicken very seriously.
But that is like, if that was a joke, you would have said more than 2 chickens. It was clearly so small an amount that came from the heart.
No, there is no humour there. That is just genuine anger. I'm not so bothered about social justice and the NHS, but if I'm owed a free chicken, I bloody well want a free chicken.
Now, what has Boris Johnson splashed out on this week?
He's bought 2 things called Ziegler Wasserwerfer 9000s.
He has bought
are-
the Ziegler Wasserwerfer 9000.
Yeah, they're water cannon. He's bought 2 water cannon.
Yes.
I'm hoping it's going to be like Boris bikes, and you can rent them out and ride them around.
His idea is...
driving up to your neighbour's barbecue, going, hello, Terry. No invitation from me again, I see.
Or you could
Those sausages are coming along very well.
Or put fairy liquid in it and have a foam party.
Surely the best way to stop a riot with a water cannon would be to put some Radox in it. Everyone just relax and have a look.
He said the reason, didn't he? He said the reason he was getting them is because he thought that they could have been used to protect the firemen during the riots in 2011. As if, of course, the firemen didn't have their own high-projectile watering machine they could have used.
I reckon he got really drunk and just bought it off eBay. That's what happened to me. I've got a pair of roller skates and a windsurfer in my shed.
Windsurfer? That's a man.
Yeah, I know.
Does he ever put on the roller skates and just hear him just roller skating around the...
You're laughing, but the bloke in your garage is bloody furious, I tell you.
What's he doing in there? He's in the shed, isn't he? He's moved.
Do you move him around every so often?
Yeah, because otherwise you get spare bedroom taxed.
If Boris Johnson ever offers to show you his water cannon, say no. And Boris, if you're watching, I don't want your money. I just think you should see our kid.
the end of that round. The points go to Rob, Hugh and Gary. Now we play a round called hashtag Wheel of News, hashtag funny, hashtag lol. This game involves Rob, Sarah and Gary. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round's a stand-up challenge. I launched a Wheel of News and whoever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first topic is family. Who wants to come in on that?
I'll do it.
Rob.
I went shopping with my nan the other day. She's a very straight-talker, man, very sort of south-east London. And we were doing the shops. I said, Nan, get yourself some trousers. They're on special. She went, nah, it's all right, son. Got enough to see me out. How depressing is that? Basing your fashion choices upon your lifespan. She don't care. She's quite modern. She's on the internet and stuff. She went, I saw you on YouTube last Tuesday. I was like, watch it when you want, Nan. It's not scheduled. And she... Oh, is that a weird fly? Oh, it's weird, wasn't it?
Weird fly.
It's me granddad having a go. I went to visit her recently. Her internet weren't working right. She went, can you sort my internet out? And all right, Nan, show me how you normally log on to internet. I'll see what you're doing wrong, get it done. She went, what I'll do is I click on the start button. I was like, right. She went, I go into programs. I was like, right. She went, I go into accessories. I'm like, well, that's wrong, but carry on. Should I go into games? I'm like, oh, God. I go into solitaire, play that for a bit, click on the cross, then I double-click on Internet Explorer. And I'm sitting there thinking, you could probably cut out the middleman now. And I was worried that she's at home thinking that she has to play solitaire to get online. I need to send that email, but I cannot face another card game. I'm sick of it. Any sort of, like, internet sort of computer people are thinking, actually, Rob, that is the incorrect route to solitaire on the latest version of Windows. You're correct. But she's on Windows 98. We're not upgrading her. It'll see her out.
Well done, Rob. OK, let's spin the wheel. Somebody who's ageing. Who wants to talk about that? Sarah.
OK, and so I'm 33 years old, which is where magazines will tell you that a woman has her sexual peak. And I used to think that was a lie, that it was something that they were saying to younger women so they wouldn't be afraid of getting older. Like, oh, yes, you will have a moustache and a slow metabolism, but you'll also be gagging for it all of the time. And now I'm this age and I do believe in it. I basically think your body starts flooding with hormones because you only have so much longer left to have a child, because that's it. I'm 33 and I've never had a baby. I have had a tapeworm. It's not the same. And, but the trouble that I'm having is, so my boyfriend's also my age and he's experiencing a lot less interest in sex. He's having a sexual slump. Because apparently boys have a sexual peak when they're around 18. And that is not fair. That is a horrible trick that nature has played. Because an 18-year-old doesn't want to have sex with me any more than I want people to know that I've done that. And it's not fair. It's not fair, because when I was a teenager, I didn't particularly enjoy or understand sex, yet I had it all of the time, out of politeness, or to stay friends with someone, or say thanks for the lift.
Thank you very much. Well done. Very good. So that leaves us now with Gary. Let's see what you've been at for. Gary, let's spin the wheel. And the topic is shopping. Away you go.
I bought a slimming magazine in W.H. Smith's. I didn't read it, I just wanted a big bar of Galaxy for £1. I bought some fancy pens at a nudist art shop. Felt tips? No, but I touched a couple of bollocks. I was in a lingerie shop. I said, are these knickers satin? He said, no, they're new. I went to buy a Christmas tree. The guy said, you're going to put it up yourself? I said, no, I was thinking the living room. Bought a chameleon, lost it. Why is it that when women go to the toilet in pairs, no one minds, but when I did it, I got thrown out the greengrocers? I got into a fight with my acupuncturist and stabbed him. He said he'd never felt better. According to the vet, my cat's in heat. I didn't even know she was famous. friend of mine keeps going on and on about how good his orthopaedic shoe is, but I think he's built it up too much. I bought an advent calendar for Jehovah's Witnesses, but on every door somebody tells you to fuck off. Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. But at the end of that round, the point's going to go to the ladies. Come on back. The next round is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Sarah, which category would you like?
Sport,
Sport.
please.
OK. Very big at the moment. Sport. The answer is 3 billion. What is the question?
Is the question, how many sleeps are there till England wins the World Cup?
Is it how many people on the planet would be a better commentator than Phil Neville?
Is it how many people will have to die in the Middle East before Tony Blair thinks that he might not be the best peace envoy there is?
Is it what percentage battery life do I need on an iPhone to last all day?
Is it about how many hairs were in the swing bin at the end of Chewbacca's full-body waxing?
Is it the amount of adverts Joe Hart's been in?
Is it how many free chickens is Gary now going to have delivered by Nando's?
And I would do it!
You would pour yourself out for the free chickens.
Is it how many times has David Cameron said to Nick Clegg, shh, not now?
OK, I'm going to move you towards a correct answer.
This is how many... It's loads. It's how many people actually watch the World Cup.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well done. Very good. Well done, Sarah. Yes, the question I was looking for was how many viewers around the world are claimed to be tuning into the World Cup. This is the predicted figure of worldwide viewers, with some estimating it'll reach as high as 3.5 billion. FIFA expects the tournament to be the most watched TV event ever. At the time of recording, we don't know the result of England's second game against Uruguay, which possibly determines whether or not you reach the tournament's knockout stage, and certainly determines the mood of a lot of people watching the show at the moment. So, sad face, happy. Different know where to go on this, to be honest. So, best luck, hard luck, you know, them's breaks.
I can't stand it!
Well, you can't stand winning a match as successfully as that.
Yes, that's right, I love it.
I'm sure the fans don't really matter what the score was, as long as everyone tried their best, right?
Yeah, high five, everybody.
Some things aren't worth joking about.
What's the betting? Somebody said to Wayne Rooney, Uruguay, and he said, yeah, no, and Colleen's a girl.
Didn't they try and acclimatise? One of the ways they acclimatised was by eating really hot curries. And apparently Sturridge likes a vindaloo, Gerrard likes a madras, and Rooney prefers a plain naan.
It was like 10 years ago. When are we going to forget it? Like,
When you asked back in
This show
time
will
and didn't
never
do it.
forget things like that.
They are changing lots of things about football this year, and I think actually we could move that a little bit further. I've got some suggestions to how we can improve the World Cup. So, for instance, listen up. When someone gets a free kick, they shouldn't have to use that on the ball. They could use it on any of the other players or the ref. Use it anywhere. Also, when there's substitutions, I think that should be like online grocery shopping. Like, oh, you asked for Theo Walcott, but we couldn't find him. So we've sent you retired cricketer Ian Botham.
do you know what? I'd still vote for you ahead of Sepp Blatter.
What other innovations have we seen this World Cup?
Spray foam.
Spray foam.
Love it.
Spray foam is magic.
So exciting,
It's
isn't it?
really good, isn't it?
it's really
because
great.
it's actually people. I think people genuinely think it's like a wall. Like a wall magically creates a barrier. They go, oh, like they're trapped in a crystal prison, like Superman and I can't get out of here. I'm trapped against the glass.
It does disappear pretty quickly, but if you're going to put a white line in front of footballers, it's going to go, isn't it?
I'm impressed that at no point so far has anyone drawn a cock and balls with it, which you think would be inevitable.
They've not warned us about it, so it just looked like he'd completely lost the plot. You know when, like, Vanessa started writing things in Big Brother? It look, I can't deal with the pressure, I'm just spraying on the ground.
Who was the talk of Twitter during England's first game?
Mr. Philip Neville.
Yes, it was Phil Neville.
People were disappointed that he didn't have much charisma as a co-commentator. This is Phil Neville. He's not a byword. No one before that was going, well, my dream dinner party. Well, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Philip Neville. He's a very boring man. What do you expect?
The thing is, I felt sorry for him, though, because, you know, basically, he wasn't as good a footballer as his brother Gary. He's not as good a commentator as his brother Gary. You feel if Phil Neville entered a Phil Neville lookalike competition, Gary would win that. The only person who thinks that Phil is better than Gary is Ed Miliband.
And the choice of music doesn't mean an inspiring piece of music. The ITV music in particular is just a guy going, Brazil. And they could put the rest of the song out. It's like, it's a really good song. It's a really famous samba song, that one with like, dun 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 dun. No, we don't want the bit. We just want the bit where you go, Brazil.
I like it. Obviously, I've loved the Brazilian rhythms.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, I look at you and I think, here's a man who loves Brazilian rhythms. I think Josh Widdicombe, and I think the intoxicating samba rhythms of Brazil. You know, we see you backstage, Josh, where you wear that giant, like, headdress that comes all the way out. And you're just in there going,
bikini
hey, what are we going to
top.
talk about in the show today? Dun, 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 dun. That cheeky little look in your face.
Well, I'm looking forward to when they watch this bit of the show and then get you in for the final. It's going to be brilliant, isn't it? You sambling across the ITV
If they
studio.
flew me to Brazil for the final, I will wear the headdress. I am dun, 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 na, 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 na. Oh, you'll happily wear it.
I think if we had a whip round with this studio audience, it could happen.
I get to Brazil. I'll just go on the beach behind the ITV studios. Dun, 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 I will not go. I will not go. It's a public beach. Dun, 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 dun. Carried on. Dun, 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 dun. Climbing up the glass window behind the BBC studio. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, I love that. I would do that.
The England football team, they had all their passport numbers revealed, didn't they? They got them
did.
given out. Apart from Wayne Rooney, who doesn't, in fact, need a passport anymore since he's been chipped. So...
I feel sorry for him.
Wayne Rooney could have half an hour ago scored like a blistering hat-trick and
We
be
looked at the
the
fools.
most greatest, most beloved man in the country, and we're here still peddling the old stereotype about Wayne Rooney.
He
So.
hasn't
gamble
scored a
that he hasn't.
hat-trick and then
I'll
gone,
go for that.
I'm going to celebrate by watching my favourite show, Mock the Weeks.
I rigged up a whole satellite thing in the dressing room. Come on, guys, let's watch Mock the Week in the dressing room. I was spraying, oh, what a result. I wonder, has the good news filtered through at home? Huh? Oh, come on.
And next to him is Phil Neville going, oh!
Ed Miliband's joined them in the dressing room to celebrate.
Lots of Nando's.
You think the boss of Nando's, Ed Miliband, Phil Neville and Wayne Rooney are on a night out in Rio tonight
Yes, absolutely.
watching the show
Yeah,
going,
damn right.
our stock has never been higher. Dun, 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 dun. At the end of that round, the pause go to Josh, Sarah and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. Our first subject is things you won't hear at the World Cup.
No one's guaranteed a start in this England team. The only thing that's nailed on is Wayne Rooney's hair.
Oh, that was a horrible two-footed lunge, but it was the only way I could shut Phil Neville up.
And now our cameraman is going to pick out some of the plainer girls in the crowd.
Let's have a look at possession. Yes, 7 Colombians have been arrested for it.
Hang on. It's all very sorry. So it's just this one side is doing it all the time, and that's really unfair. I'm so sorry, right? You two, you're kind of hogging it a bit. So for the rest of the round, I'm sorry. You're just going to have to. Things you won't hear at the World Cup. Dun 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 dun. Sorry, excuse me. I'm resuming.
It's the first time that most people have ever seen Dara's legs, ladies and gentlemen. That's Messi. Oh, Messi. Yes, Wayne Rooney should never have a half-time orange unsupervised.
There's little doubt now that Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the world's all-time greatest twats.
Welcome to Sugarloaf Mountain, the hardest level on Candy Crush.
And that's a very soft tackle, as Pele hasn't taken his tablets yet.
Is he the finished article? That's the question. He did very well against Italy, but Sterling has traditionally performed very badly against the dollar and the yen.
And now we go over live for Nigeria against the Ivory Coast and our commentator, Ron Atkinson.
You join us here in Brazil where it's still fucking well hot.
Hey, who's heard what's going on in Iraq?
There's 6 Brazilians in the wall and 2 in the foundations. That's the mafia for you.
4 years later, Paul the Octopus is back. And what a stew he made.
Andre Pirlo, the only player in world football to be named after the Palestinian Liberation Organisation.
There you go. OK. The next topic is unlikely things to hear on a cookery programme.
No, that's the flour, Nigella.
You've got to be very careful when handling raw meat. But if your wife does walk in, close the laptop, pull up the trousers and feign ignorance.
The thing to remember when making your own pesto is you're wasting your time.
So, pop in a lemon, shove in the stuffing, sew up the mouth, and that should keep Greg Wallace quiet for a bit.
No, I'm afraid those aren't bacon bits. I've just got a bit of eczema at the moment.
If you add vodka into the tomatoes, it really brings out the flavour. And if you add it to your wine, you can pass out before the kids get home.
You should be able to get the ingredients for this anywhere. They are goat's horn, chervil, and the frozen tears of an elf.
I'm Anthony Worrell-Thompson. Today we're going to be needing salmon, noodles and parsley. So I'm going to nip down to Tesco and shove them up my jumper.
That's enough cooking. Next up, we got some twat trying to flog a book.
Does anyone know what's happening in Iraq?
Welcome to Chinese Meals in Minutes. I'll have a 19 and some prawn crackers.
So, alternatively, it's gas mark 4 for 20 minutes. You're watching Dignitas Television.
This asparagus smells delicious. Now, imagine what it tasted like when I ate it yesterday.
After MasterChef, Celebrity MasterChef and MasterChef The Professionals, now it's MasterChef. The only 5 people in Britain who've not been on MasterChef.
We'd like to apologise for the misprint in this week's Radio Times. Paul Hollywood is, in fact, a massive cook.
We only use the freshest ingredients, so this is Daisy and this is a stun gun.
OK, at the end of that, the points go to Rob, Hugh and Barry. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Rob Beckett, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Sarah Pascoe and Josh Widdicombe. Thank you for watching. I'm Darren Breen. Good night.
that's it. You've had your laughs. Now fill up on sport. Japan versus Greece is BBC One's Match of the Day live right now. Or if you just can't stop laughing, then go to BBC Three for Russell Howard's Good News. Here on BBC Two, Newsnight is next.